On today's episode, we're talking about Cenat's 7-day prison stream, Nintendo's new handheld, Gears of War reboot, and Xbox sticking it to the fans. All this and more right now on FTW for the win, episode 19. All right. Cenat is doing a 7-day prison stream, amassing 250,000 viewers on day one. Cenat, one of Twitch's most popular content creators, is in the middle of a 7-day prison live stream. The streamer is currently locked up in a jail setting while having to follow the rules of wardens and guards alongside a few other content creators and famous names. Content creators and gamers and streamers are just taking things to the next level. He's live right now, by the way.
So I gotta know really quick.
Yeah.
Are the guards or are other streamers being the guards?
One of the guards was a female streamer that was really popular, and all the guys were pumped that she was one of the guards.
This can turn into the Stanford prison experiment real quick and fast.
Well, there was a lot of, I'm very familiar, there was a lot of comments actually about the Stanford prison experiment. However, I think this is a little different. I don't think it's quite as intense. I remember reading and watching the stuff about the Stanford prison experiment. If so, how much were they getting paid to do it? The Stanford guys, do we remember?
It was in the 70s, so we would have to adjust for inflation and everything too if they did get paid. I think it might have been volunteer or was something pretty minuscule, yeah, do this, and probably the equivalent of $20 today. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. From what I can tell and what I've watched, it's quite a bit different in that it's just very laid back, and they're just in a warehouse that looks like a prison, and gotcha. They're stuck in the same place, but they're not getting the level of abuse and the level of strictness. I mean, they're just hanging out. It's just here's the schedule, you can eat, we're gonna hang out, we're gonna freestyle together, it's very laid back.
It would be the equivalent of getting paid $108 today. They were paid $15
total?
A day.
Oh, geez.
$15 each a day. But, when you're a broke college kid,
Yeah.
Because that's what it was. But it didn't only last, 4 days.
Yeah, they broke them. That was crazy.
Yeah.
This is quite the opposite.
Yeah. All right.
They're freestyling and eating junk food and just hanging out. So, anyways,
okay,
pretty
cool.
Are
they making prison food? Prison food's really interesting to do, making just the weird crap people make in their cells. I watched this dude on YouTube. He was in prison for 12 years, and he makes he's this is how you make prison nachos.
It's really gross because they move their mattress out of the way, and they on the metal bed, they use that as a griddle. They put a flame under it.
They've done stuff like that. There's the thing that's the sketchiest and what they call the stinger, and they get they get a piece of metal, and then they get just a power cord, and they split the power cord, they connect it to the piece of metal, and that's how they boil water. They just take this thing, put it in the water, plug it in, and it's
so
you can literally die if you plug that in. It's just shorting out, and that's what's boiling the damn water. And
crazy.
I'm sure you're getting some kind of depending on what kind of metal you're using too, you get some kind of disease. I don't know. It's super sketchy. Super sketchy.
Ugh. Yeah. Would you guys, if you were getting paid, would you go and do a 7-day prison live stream?
Okay, but depends on what. Who, are we going to this thing where it's a party, or are we going to like the Stanford Prison experiment?
This thing.
I don't know, maybe. I mean, I was in the Air Force. Like, basic training was basically prison, so
Yeah. You could handle it. You'd probably get paid more too.
it's true.
Nintendo filing reveals design for the new dual screen gaming device. The filing shows a dual screen gaming device that can be split into two. This filing was made in November of last year, but was made public earlier this month. Images of this device show a handheld not too dissimilar from the Nintendo 3DS, but unlike the 3DS, this device can be split in half to allow for wireless gaming between two players. Nintendo once again pushing the boundaries of what can be done.
Just looking at the patent, it reminded me of like the notebook, the my laptop I have for work. I have a Surface Book, and like the top can like detach, flip around, clip it back on, fold it over. It'd be interesting if it's stuff like that. If you can like manipulate it in different ways, you know.
Yeah, they tried to do this kind of with the Switch. I don't even know. Do people play a lot of Switch games together? I remember when the Switch first came out, it was very heavily advertised as a, hey, like, you know,
The
sit
LAN
at
party kind of
yes,
aspect.
sit at a picnic bench across from your buddy and, you know, play back and forth. But I feel like that never really became the reality of Switch users. Am I off in remembering that?
They advertised it quite
They
heavily.
advertised it heavily. And I did use that feature when I worked at Best Buy, and I would bring my Switch and I'd be in the break room, and other techie coworker and friends, they would pull out theirs, and we would sometimes play games together. But it was also kind of a pain in the butt to set up, and sometimes it wasn't super seamless. But that could have just been the specific games we were playing. So we didn't really use it that much. Like, what we mostly would end up doing was putting one person's Switch up on a kickstand, excuse me, and playing a game where we're sharing a screen, like Windjammers or Towerfall or some other game like that, you know, and just connecting our controllers to the other Switch. That's what we ended up doing for the most part. It was much less of a hassle. But still a definite hassle because the Switch has a horrible UI for adding and removing controllers. It's a damn nightmare.
Yeah, I'm interested in how they're like, I don't know, powering it. Like with like the Surface, like the detachable part is just a keyboard and it like connects, but like are you powering like two screens, and like when you plug it in, is it charging both at the same time? Like,
so that's actually so I'm not talking I don't have a Surface, I have a Surface Book, and the Surface Book actually has two batteries. So my Surface batteries. I have to push a button, and then Windows says I can detach the screen, and then it finally unlatches. It's not like the normal Surface where it's like a Bluetooth keyboard that's a case. This is an actual like latching connection thing, and it charges two different batteries when I put my power cord in, because like it tells me like battery 1 is at 75% and battery 2 is at 80%, because they could be different if I like am using it in like tablet mode or whatever the heck.
Gotcha.
Makes sense.
Is it smart to release a handheld that now requires two batteries when batteries and chips are becoming a hot topic?
They're going to have to be replaceable.
Oof. That is
pull the old Sega Game Gear, do 6 AA batteries.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Just give it a hydrogen cell, call it a day. It reminds me, like, talking. Do you remember in Small Soldiers when they were talking about like putting lithium batteries so like they'll last until like the new next millennia, and like
I haven't seen Small Soldiers in years.
and in like 1998, yeah, a lithium battery that was pretty new. We were still doing nickel metal hydride and stuff back then. So I don't know, maybe something else is. I don't know how to explain it. Like we could be moving on to something. I don't know. I don't know if it's a smart idea. It's Nintendo doing what Nintendo does. They never pay attention to what anyone else is saying. Like they just do Nintendo things.
Oh man, are we getting to the other Nintendo hot topic later, or
which one?
Their new guidelines for Smash Bros tournaments.
I didn't put that in.
Nintendo just off with that. Like, let tournaments just happen, man. Like,
it's crazy. Like, you have to get a license if there's more than 200 entrants.
Yeah,
and the prize money can't be more than like $5,000.
Sometimes I kind of wish that like video game tournaments were still like something that companies didn't really pay attention to.
Yeah, because there's even stuff like it has to be run as a nonprofit, and you can't even sell like concessions, like food and drinks. Like they went like way beyond anything they've ever done before, because they've always been like really stupid about their tournaments and stuff. And so it basically kills a lot of like the smaller and like locals, and it's like what's the point of all of this? Like all it is like bad publicity for Nintendo. Like what is the point of all of this? Like
I know they want to try to control their brand and keep complete ownership of their brand and control the narrative around it, but like this doesn't matter in that regard. Like,
yeah,
you know, it's stupid.
It's a long. You just wouldn't like. They've had a long history of not being good, especially with the Smash community, and now it's just like they are making it even worse. But yeah, Gears of War creator Cliffy B says he would love to see the game rebooted. In a recent interview at comicbook.com, Cliff says he thinks that Gears of War needs a God of War like reboot and that he would be interested in consulting such a project. Quote, I believe Gears needs a little bit of a reboot like God of War had. I've always said Phil Spencer has my number. I'm happy to consult. Gears will always be near and dear to my heart. Late afternoon, if I have a mimosa in me, sometimes I'll go to YouTube and I'll look up key cutscenes from the Gears franchise, like Dom's death or Dom having to put down his wife, and I read the comments. He says reading the comments on those cutscenes from Gears of War when Dom dies, and people are like, I had to put the controller down. My friend just sat there and we were silenced and stunned. He said, for people to actually get tattoos of something that you made on their bodies is the most flattering thing. I would be all down for this.
Yeah, I mean, I'll never forget seeing Gears of War, the trailer at E3, and like it literally just like blew my mind. And I don't know, Dave, if you remember, but like I was literally just like running through the house, slamming my back against the couch and like shooting over the couch, and then going around cover and just running, doing the roadie run like all around the house. Like I was so hyped for that game. And you know, I played through the original trilogy, first three, and I didn't really get into 4 or 5. But apparently like 5 was still pretty well received and it sold better than 4 did. So like there's still like an audience, I think, here for the Gears franchise. I'm not sure exactly how you would like do a soft reboot. I mean, I guess they keep figuring out ways to bring back like the locust armies and stuff like that to kill, but I almost think you need to do like a parallel universe or another planet or something like that.
Ooh, how about we do a multiverse, right? and
Always. Multiverse is always
and
the answer.
and all of them are diverse women. Right?
We could do a panderverse.
Every single
Make
one
them
of them
gay
is a diverse
and make them lame.
Lame.
make them gay and make them lame, and yeah, that's how we can. All the
Did I
locusts
mention I wanted this
also
lame.
all the locusts are also diverse women that are gay and lame.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
It'll
Dude.
print money. It'll print money. Prove me wrong.
Oh yes, but Gears, in the same way, Gears does have that special place in my heart, just because I just had so much fun with it back in the day.
Even landing it, I remember landing it a few times and enjoying the heck out of it.
Yeah, we did like just horde mode over land, and that was like really fun.
Yeah,
I just remember like how much like that. I would say Gears 1 was the first time a 360 title properly felt next gen.
Yes, 100%.
I mean, coming close to be Dead Rising, just because of how much shit there was on screen, how many like enemies and stuff there were.
Yeah.
I remember Dead Rising was the first game on the 360 where it really drove home the point this is an HD console, because people were complaining the text was unreadable on a CRT because it was too small.
I remember that.
So, which checks out, because first time I played Dead Rising was on a CRT at Kyle's house. So it like 100% adds up in my personal experiences with it. But Gears 1 was like, I was like, okay, this is the next gen. It's here.
It.
Yeah.
Still haven't really seen one for the series PS5 gen, but
yeah. I would love to see this happen, and even if they did something as simple as a MCC type situation where they put 1 through 5 together with the campaigns, with new achievements, with some simple matchmaking servers, and they didn't make them suck like MCC, as long as it's not broken like MCC was in the beginning, but a polished Gears of War, Mega Ultimate Edition, whatever, I would snatch that up quickly and have a lot of fun with it. Have horde mode for the different ones, make it so you can play with your friends. That'd be incredible. And I think you'd get a lot of, I mean, people love that game, man. People love it, and a lot of people would play it. I have a vivid memory of playing the campaign and like watching Carmine die, and he was like my favorite character. I thought he was so cool.
Dude,
and I was like, oh my gosh. But like, you think like, I'm just going to read off these characters, right? And each one of them I went through, I'm like, dude, they like resonate with me. So you got Marcus Phoenix, you got Cole, you got Santiago, you got Carmine, right? Like, it's a game that like they did characters and stories so well, and
just
it's
the
like,
fact that you can remember character names and like their personalities and stuff tells you like they did a good job with the game, like in the story and the characters, because there's not a lot of games where I can just list off like every main character in it when there's like 5-6 main characters, it's like but
yeah, it's like what Halo 5 wanted to be, but couldn't be. Because I couldn't tell you anyone in Halo 5 except for the one main antagonist guy, whatever his name was, who, fought the chief or whatever the heck. Anyways, reboot. Be great. I'd be down. Okay, I have feelings about this. Xbox is going to block all unauthorized third-party accessories. Xbox is reportedly about to block players from using any, quote, unauthorized third-party accessories as of the 12th of November. Members of Xbox community have reported seeing a warning message pop up on screen when they plug in an unauthorized accessory to their consoles. Microsoft has shared the following statement. Microsoft and other licensed Xbox hardware partners' accessories are designed and manufactured with quality standards for performance, security, and safety. Unauthorized accessories can compromise the gaming experience on Xbox consoles. Gamers may receive a pop-up warning that their accessory is unauthorized. Eventually, the unauthorized accessory will be blocked from use to preserve the console gaming experience. I was torn on this at first, but I'm not anymore. What do you guys think about this?
So, obviously it's to mitigate cheaters, right? People that have modded controllers and stuff like that. And at the same time, if this was last gen, or the gen before that, actually, I would be pretty livid about it, because I think about people that have controllers that have been modified for disabilities and handicaps and stuff like that. There's a whole market for that. But at the same time, Microsoft for like the last 3-4 years have been really, really driving home their adaptive controller, where you buy the main hub and you can make whatever. Yeah. And I know people that use the adaptive controller. They have no handicaps, but they have like created like little foot pads to like crouch, so they can like crouch slide and stuff like that with like just pedals on their and various other things. So I feel that if you're creative enough to do modded controllers, you can figure something out with the adaptive controller that will still work in your favor. You know, I don't know if, off the top of my head if that's possible, like how much of that's possible, how Microsoft is detecting these sort of things. Like if I make my own version of like the Elite controller by just adding 4 more mappable buttons on the bottom right, without any other like weird cheating kind of situations, will that be detected? I don't know how far this goes as far as like them detecting unauthorized.
Yeah, like I get a good idea of what is allowed, you know, if it has that little emblem designed for Xbox, but I'm curious like what actual like products that you can buy is this actually going to affect and are not going to work, you know, if any. Because I think I saw one guy's product that lets you, you know, plug in a mouse and keyboard, like won't be available. But I think there's legitimate ways to plug in a mouse and keyboard, just not with his specific product. But
yeah,
I mean, it doesn't seem like it's going to affect anything that you can just like buy in a GameStop or at a store or something. It seems to
so
be affecting...
it also blocks third-party stuff that doesn't have like Microsoft's like chipset for a digital handshake, essentially. So when I worked at Best Buy, we sold a thing that you just plugged into the back of your controller, and it wasn't authorized by Microsoft, but you plugged into the battery pack, and it allowed you to start doing like drop shots and stuff in Call of Duty. And it would essentially turn your normal controller to a modded controller. I think that would probably get flagged because but you could just buy it at GameStop sold it too. I forget what it was called, but yeah, I think what would end up happening is that retailers, like mainstream retailers, Walmart, Target, GameStop, Best Buy, they would probably start focusing on only selling third-party products that have that official certification from Microsoft, you know, just so they can cut down on returns. So I don't know.
I mean, the competitor in me wants everyone to be using just the exact same controller, but I understand there's a lot of money to be made on accessories and different controller types and all of that.
I wonder if it's going to start blocking like people's like SCUF controllers.
So
like, think about that. That's a huge company.
There's a list, and SCUF is a like Microsoft partner. So the big the big names are going to be fine. You know, like I'm on the website right now.
Scuff was like ran out of like a guy's garage essentially when it started, you know.
Yeah,
so
no, they're
it's crazy that now they're authorized. Wow.
I'm at the website right now. Scuff Instinct controller it's on the approved list and everything. However, I have two main beefs with this. Like the positive is, yeah, the cheating and all that. Obviously, we want to like none of that. I don't want that. Like I hated this second Halo came to PC. All of a sudden, cheating was like running rampant, right? So I like the idea of like people not being able to use whatever weird modified stuff. However, my first thought when I read this article, I was like, but what about little Jimmy whose grandma or parents pick him up a, you know, Mad Catz, you know, super controller X for $20 because that's the cheapest that like that's what they can get. That's what they can afford. They can't afford a $70 Microsoft official controller. And then they go to plug it in. It's like, dang, it's not on the approved list. And this kid who's in 5th grade can't play and they got to buy. So that was my first thought. And I'm looking on the list and there are some, like there's a HyperX $34 Xbox controller. You know, that's like pretty, that's like not unreasonable. And so my first thought was just, man, I would hate to see this because I remember growing up playing video games and people would have the dodgiest controller sometimes. And you're like, dude, what is that? Like third party knockoff, whatever. But it's what people had and it's what they could play with. And so that's my first thought is I want it to be accessible to like kids. I think about kids and like people who, hey, all they can do is like go and get the cheapest thing they can get. Like their parents are already spending a butt ton on a console and they can't do all this stuff. My second thing though, and this is a much even bigger beef, is I paid for this Xbox. I paid full price for this game. I paid for all of this. And now you won't let me use like my own controller on it. I'm not even like using some sketchy thing to modify something or play the game and cheat and hack. It's like you just won't even let me play with my own controller on my own console that I own and paid for.
I mean, I get that entirely. Like why it's frustrating considering like you guys remember back like 20 years ago, I was like hacking controllers to like make my own arcade sticks. I was buying like real arcade hardware, like soldering directly to like third party controllers. But like, you know, it's, I understand that frustration, but what this is also going to do to your first point you made, David, is this is going to kill the market for dodgy controllers, like the extra dodgy controllers, because
the
Power A makes a authorized Xbox Xbox Series controller for $20. Power A makes one. It's $20. Like, and I don't think you can find like a Chinese knockoff that has no authorization for cheaper than $20. In all honesty, right? So this is going to eliminate the dodgiest of the dodgy controllers because any retailer that doesn't want to deal with returns is going to not carry weird dodgy controllers from, you know, no name brand, right? And so mainstream retailers won't carry them. And at the same time, if weird companies like dodgy companies can't get retailers to carry them because they just get returned, they're gonna not make them, you know. So it's it will eliminate that while still allowing that first thing you had mentioned about, like, you know, people that had the crappy third party controllers. They're still out there, and Microsoft slaps their name on it because they could get their royalty from it. So
yeah, I just can't imagine buying like a car and then being like, ooh, I want these different rims on it, and then they're like, nope, can't use these rims on our car. What do you mean? I paid full price cash for this car. I can use whatever the heck rims on it I want.
There was talks about that happening with the Tesla Cybertruck.
No.
And
Wait,
then
the
when
rims?
we get to Eve, about the rims and tire stuff. It was like
Well, there's already cars sold now, like the Mercedes EV, that literally you buy the car and then there's stuff that is just like locked by software, like features in the car.
BMW
Not
and
like-
Mercedes did it.
Oh,
but
yeah.
the hardware is there to like to warm your
It's all
seat, but
there.
you got to pay.
but you
but,
pay
like,
extra.
Yeah, you have to pay like subscription to unlock it, and then we can go down the rabbit hole, David, of like what John Deere is doing about how like
John
over in
John
Deere, there's a whole thing where like farmers are having to turn to cracked Russian firmware for their tractors because they can't
Jeez.
modify and keep them up and running because there's like stupid licensing, two-way handshake bullcrap, always online horse shit that like
For
John Deere's been
tractors.
doing for tractors. Yeah, this isn't new, David. Your analogy.
No.
Oh, buddy.
No. But here,
we're there. Welcome
here's
to your
the thing.
dystopia.
here's what's crazy is like you like with the car, it's like, oh, pay extra to unlock it, right? Well, I have paid extra and I have paid for everything for this Xbox. And so
that's what I'm
I
saying,
should
like,
be able to use everything.
Tesla was going to do that with the Cybertruck where you have to buy the Cybertruck tires. You can't put other things on there. It's already
No, I hear you. I think it's just a very hard pill to swallow from someone who like literally grew up being able to plug in whatever I want to the console I own, full stop. Like, I'm just sick and tired of these like companies being inside my house and controlling everything that I paid money for. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, dude.
I paid
Yeah. Oh,
money for this.
100%.
Why are you
Well, it
controlling how I use it?
It wouldn't be an issue if you didn't have to be online to do everything on the console, you know?
Yeah.
Because everything we used to do is all offline. You can just plug in whatever. There's no way of them to know anything.
I foresee as a cat and mouse game, as it always turns into. There was an issue like this with the 360 with people using early on when people were making their own custom arcade sticks before Mad Catz had released the like fight stick before Street Fighter 4, which is why even though it was harder to do, I used an official wired Xbox 360 controller for like. Do you remember my Power Ranger, my Red Ranger arcade stick I made like back then? I used an original Xbox 360 controller, even though it was harder to do, because there was a chipset on there that allowed it to always work, versus like people were running into issues with dodgy Chinese controllers, and it was not being recognized for the same reason. This isn't exactly new. This is just what now Microsoft's like advertising and giving you a list. Like they've done this sort of thing before.
Do you still have that arcade stick?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I still have my other arcade sticks I made. Oh my god, like literally over 20 years ago now. Like, golly.
I will say this is
We're fucking
something
old,
that
guys.
like I know. This is something that could push me, you know, if this goes to the extreme and they keep just like regulating everything about a console that you paid $500 for and requiring all this stuff and like shaping your experience to a T. This is something that could definitely push me towards PC gaming, where it's more like, hey, do what you want to do. And
I just play old games now, man. That's all I do, really. I just mostly
Boomer.
play old crap.
It's not even
No,
worth
it's
like
not even
playing competitively online anymore with all the cheaters and the matchmaking, and it's just like,
yep.
Yeah.
I'll run customs with people or do LANs, but it's really hard for me to like have any motivation to play stuff competitive online.
That's the
anymore.
thing. Like, I just don't care anymore. Like, I just don't care. Like, about winning, about striving to win. It's just like, whatever, dude. Like, especially like with games like Halo Infinite, it's not the only one, but we talked about it before where like it's predetermined. Like, they have it mathematically mapped out where like, we know this guy is going to get creamed after playing against these guys. So like,
Yeah.
like
What
I don't
am
even get
doing?
mad anymore. It's like I don't get mad about it, but I also don't feel good about winning because it's like, did they just pair me against a bunch of dudes that are like playing with their controller up their butt? Like, I don't know.
Bring back the LAN party. I wish Infinite Customs worked. Like, that would be fun. Like to play customs.
Dude, the customs game browser is a disaster. Still. Anyways, wait till I get to my soapbox. Nick Merckx signs a new deal with Kick and leaves Twitch. Nick Merckx has alleged that Twitch used to take his subscription revenue and pay him a fixed amount at the end of each month for the longest time. In the same stream, he also revealed that he has a gambling contract with Kick, and he will also be doing some gambling on his new channel at the Stakeback platform. Quote, for a long time now, I don't know how you're going to feel about me telling you this, but I'm just going to tell you, I didn't see any of that. I got paid a fixed amount no matter what. You know what I mean? So he's going over to Kick. Some people are up in arms about him doing, he has to do a few gambling streams. It's part of his contract or whatever. And I'm like, dude, like, he's not a Roblox streamer. He's not a Minecraft streamer. He doesn't stream to little kids. I've been watching him for years. His brand is like grown men, football meatheads. You know what I mean? Like guys who work out and like, who cares? Yeah. People are trying to like cast like judgment on him. I'm like, dude, like, okay, whatever. Like, I don't know, dude. I mean, I'm a pretty, I'm a person who tries to be careful about what I do online and have upstanding morals. But if Kick was like, hey, we'll pay you $2 million if you do a couple gambling streams, a month, I'd be like, yeah, I'll take care of my family and friends. Like, it's not, I don't know. People who are trying to take some moral high ground stance are acting. Now, if he was like a Roblox streamer and his demographic was like elementary to middle school kids, I might be like, yeah, that's a little, I mean, come on, man. Like, that's not quite
Kids can learn how to gamble, man. They had they had slot machines in Pokemon Red and Blue.
Oh, dude, and every game is a slot machine now.
And yeah, every game's a slot machine now.
Every time they walk out their front door, they're taking a gamble.
It's true.
Going to school to gamble now.
all right. Let's back it up.
Pokemon had slot machines.
Pokemon cards. It's all fun.
There was literally like casino games on the SNES and the PS1. All right,
oh, yeah, so like dude. Shem knew I was always in there just pulling the slots.
Yeah, playing a game of Lucky Hit.
Lucky Hit.
Would you like to play a game of Lucky Hit?
So. Okay, like they're not betting real money. It's fine. Teach a kid how to play. Like what is it? Like what harm is it? What harm is it?
Let them run out of money so they can't buy any more Ultra Balls and they can't catch any Pokemon. You got to let them learn from their mistakes, and you can't interrupt the rule of sowing and reaping.
Yeah,
like I remember James Bond on Game Boy actually had like a mode to play poker and blackjack and stuff. And there was a cheat code where you could just skip to just that part. Like
yes. Straight to Gomble.
Skip going to the casino. Yeah, you could I think you just had to name your character something else and it would just immediately take you to the developers obviously put a lot of time and effort into the casino portion of the game. And they're like, we'll put a cheat code. You can just skip right to that. Skip all the exposition crap. It's a Game Boy game. So I mean, what's kids can gamble. It's fine. I don't care. I'm not dad.
Well, when I saw this headline, I was just like, holy crap. I want to see Kick's books. Do they just have bottomless pockets and can just poach every huge streamer ever? When is it going to end? How are they making so much money?
Well, they're backed by Stake, which is a massive online gambling, sports gambling, company. So they got, they're a casino, they got money for days. But what do you guys think about him getting? So the whole time he was partnered with Twitch, he probably wasn't allowed to say, but all his sub money, whenever someone subbed to his channel, and the people who had 52-month streaks, 100-month streaks, he didn't see, like, technically that money didn't go to him. It went to Twitch. He didn't get anything off his dashboard, is the wording that he used. And they just the deal was they guaranteed him a minimum, and he didn't get anything off his dashboard. I would feel like kind of like crap if I found that out after being subbed to someone for like a long time. I get how it's like, well, technically it does go to him if you see it as like, oh, it went to Twitch and then Twitch gives him a minimum. Like, you could see it as still supporting him, but that feels weird.
I want to see Twitch's books too. I'm just so curious. I mean, they're backed by Amazon, so it just doesn't make sense that something backed by Amazon would need to be so like anti-creatives. But I just did a quick search, and it looks like in 2022, Stake.com had a revenue of about $2.6 billion.
Yeah.
So I think that's more than enough to pay Nick Merckx.
Yeah. The rumor going
how
around,
much profit there is in
the rumor going
2.6,
around,
but
which I haven't looked super into it, but it's a 10 million deal. He gets everything off of his dashboards, like subs, donations, etc. And they are going to help him out. He does a few big events a year, and I think they're going to front the cash and pay for those. Like, he does a big like family day where subs and their families and everything can come out and hang out, and he does like some partnerships. So yeah, man, like, dude, I would take that deal in a second. Like, yeah, I think it's always great seeing like actual, and he's a gamer, like he's a real gamer streamer. He's not one of these I won't name drop, but like guys who just sits there and watch YouTube all day and just like says a few sentences and just does reacts the whole time. Like, no, he's like playing video games. He's built a really great community. So I think it's always good when kind of the real gamers get the deal. So it's a W.
yeah.
You know what's not a W, though? The layoffs continuing. Bungie did just this week lays off around 100 staff. Its revenue is 45% below 2023 projection. Executives at Bungie told employees 2 weeks ago that Destiny 2 was running some 45% below revenue projections for the year, following a disappointing reception to the expansion Lightfall. Dozens of employees woke up to ominous 15-minute meetings scheduled for Monday morning where they learned their positions were affected. And the legend himself, Mike Salvatore, Halo composer, after 25 years, I think it was, got the axe. And
dude, there's people that were there since the beginning of Bungie that are being
let go.
Yeah.
Insane.
The girl who, I forget her name, the biggest one that stuck out to me was the person who designed the damn Halo logo.
Right, yeah,
gone.
yeah.
Dude,
That's
crazy. And to add, there's a lot of layers to this, but one of them, to add salt in the wound, it came out through employees that were there when they had like an all-team meeting with who was left. It came out that the CEO or whoever it was in charge was talking to everyone and said that they feel that they've kept the, quote, the right people to move Destiny forward. And just the worst way you could possibly say that. I think I understand what they mean. It's like, hey, making cuts sucks and laying off people sucks. This is the best. This is what we feel is the best team that we can afford to move this thing forward. But what it says, what the message that is communicated is actually everyone we just laid off were not the right people, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Well, it's also really crazy is that like they were people that knew, they were told to not tell the other people because they're like, it will be properly handled and the information will be disseminated. And then instead, people weren't even like so a lot of people weren't even being told. They were just email access deleted, couldn't connect to the VPN, they couldn't get to work, they couldn't connect to online anything. And then it was like, oh yeah, no, you're gone.
Yeah.
Like, to get sacked like that is insane. I thought it sucked when I got like a call on vacation telling me my position was eliminated. Being like just like essentially ghosted. That's horrifying.
Yeah, well, I've also seen that fans in protests are mass refunding their pre-orders for Lightfall, so it's only going to get worse from here for Bungie.
Yeah, we could. I don't know, dude. Could we see Bungie like go under 45% below revenue projections? Is crazy. That's massive.
You know what? If I was 343, I would be doing a hiring spree right now.
Yeah. So, all the best to people who got laid off, especially the legendary Halo composer. That's sucks. On his page, on his website, it no longer says in his bio all his Destiny projects. Everything's been deleted, and it just says "gone fishing" with a smiley face.
Jeez.
So
it looks like the expansion and Marathon are going to be delayed too.
Oh, they would have to be. Like losing all those people. And yeah, it's just brutal, man. Grim.
Yeah.
Grim. Max Payne remake project is next in line for release, and it has supposedly, quote, progressed into the production readiness stage. So the full quote says, "We've gained clarity on the style and scope of game, and we have an exceptionally well-organized team working on it. With these accomplishments, we are excited about the project and its future success." So, yeah, Max Payne 1+2 is underway, and they got a good team working on it, and that's music to my ears.
I know you replayed the first one recently. Did you ever play the second one again?
No, I haven't done the second one yet. So,
yep, I have very fond memories of the first Max Payne. It's one of the first Xbox games I convinced my dad to buy from Walmart.
Yeah, pretty dark as well. Pretty dark. A lot of drug use. The drug use in it is quite intense, even for an old game.
Yeah, and he was hesitant to buy it because on the back there was a neon sign, XXX. And he was like, "Wait, what's this?" And I was like, No, look at the rating. It just says violence and language. There's no nudity or anything.
There's no XXX in it.
He's like, "Oh, okay."
That's called world building, Dad. Okay.
World building.
But I love those games. I never played the third one though. It kind of caught. I don't know. It came out at a weird time in my life, I think. But 1 and 2 were awesome.
Yeah, I definitely gotta play 2. Gotta play it. All right, it's time for the 60-second soapbox. I am sick and tired of 343/Halo Infinite Gaming grassroots partners trying to convince me why I should be excited and play Halo Infinite. All I'm seeing nowadays is all these grassroots partners saying, oh, this update's a massive W for Infinite. All this game does is catch W's. W's everywhere. W's all around. Oh, this game is so much W's. And I just want to know, how many years do we have to give a game before we just say, hey, we just didn't quite hit the mark with this one? I am not down with like taking 100 steps back, 10 steps forward, and then saying those 10 steps forward are a massive W. It's a massive W. That's where we're at with Halo Infinite. They took 100 steps back, and they've gone about, I don't know, I'd say 50 steps forward. And so I'm not about it. And I'm not going to sit here and, tear them down every single week. But I remember, like, a few months back when gas prices shot up $2 overnight. And then the president came out a month later after gas prices went down about 10 cents and said, gas prices are going down. We're moving the economy forward. I'm like, no. We still got to get back down to where we were. What just happened? And so that's how it is with Infinite. It's like, yeah, good progress, but no, we're not where we should be. And I'm not going to sit here and applaud you for every single little update. Desync still exists 2 years later. When you released a blog, and I looked it up, you released a blog, like one of the first waypoints. Hey, we know desync is an issue. Be looking in future updates. We're gonna address it. They still haven't addressed it 2 years later. I'm out, dude. I'm not gonna sit here and post things on social media. That was more than 2 minutes. I'm sorry, or that was more than 1 minute. That's my rant. I'm over it, bro.
The question is, how much are they getting paid to shill for 343?
Yeah, I don't think they are getting paid. I don't think so. I think they just
be
have
getting some
benefits.
kind of perk. Or
yeah, they get perks, benefits.
Something. But
the shilling is just, I can't take it anymore. Like, I just can't. Diablo 4 new expansion gets data mined. Diablo 4's first major expansion will be called Lord of Hatred and focus on Prime Evil Mephisto, according to data miners who have tapped into Blizzard's technical alpha build of version 2.0 on its private testing branch. Other new features have also leaked, including a new class called Spiritborn, which will have a nature theme, plus a mercenary system for players to hire NPCs, outfit them with gear, and level them up in a dedicated skill tree. The ability to craft corrupt runestones and raid missions are also rumored. You gonna buy the expansion, John?
Probably. If there's new achievements with it, I'll probably get it.
Yeah.
Because, how I did Diablo 3... I didn't even play it until their, Game of the Year. I forget what they called it. Game of the Year edition came out. So, it'll be interesting to see what's actually added. Usually, it's pretty significant changes and updates. But yeah, it's I'm expecting 2 to 3 major expansions, but
it coming to Steam has been the best thing because now they can data mine it and give us some leaks, which is always fun to just speculate about. But yeah, I'll probably be in there pretty quickly. I've been devouring season 2, and although I will say once I hit level 100, I just stopped playing. I haven't wanted to even get on. So I'm like, oh no, I need to figure out what I'm gonna do now.
You gotta fight Duriel, King of Maggots.
Yeah. So anywho,
have you done that yet?
I started doing some of them. The Twitch app you never use on your Nintendo Switch is getting shut down. From the 6th of November, new users will no longer be able to download the app from the eShop. All users will then lose access from 31st of January 2024. So, well. All right.
The beginning of the end for the Switch. I don't know how anyone could use it after losing this feature.
Yeah, I know, right? Sniper bullets in Halo Infinite can be repulsed. Halo player Vetoed shared a crazy clip of him repulsing a sniper bullet in Halo Infinite and killing the guy who tried to snipe him. He said in a tweet, PSA, you can repulse sniper bullets in Halo Infinite and hit headshots. One of the hardest but sickest things I've done in a Halo game. It was so rewarding once it connected. Did you guys see this clip?
Was kind of under the assumption that like anything could be repulsed, but
I thought it was known that the sniper could, at least theoretically. I guess I don't know if it had just not been done yet, but I think like if I remember right, when Halo Infinite came out, people were talking about how you could.
Yeah, but the odds of actually doing it in a game,
exactly,
and
that's
hitting
like
a headshot,
and hitting
that's
the
crazy part.
Mind blowing to me.
Yeah.
That's why.
How did it repulse? Like, did it? Like, I watched the video, but like it repulsed back like the same flight path, and the guy must have been standing exactly still from when he shot it.
Yeah,
like, you know, and I think of like repulsing something, it could go in like any direction or whatever, but yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, epic clip. New information about Resident Evil 9. Via Resident Evil Central, RE9 will have the biggest development budget out of any other games in the franchise. The earliest game will be released in 2025, making it at least 7 years in development. Resident Evil 9 will close some of the series threads while also opening new storylines that will take the series in a new direction. Henry, you play Resident Evil. Do you play it?
Yeah, sort of.
Sort of. 7 years in development. Better be good.
Yeah, the first person Resident Evil game was too scary for me to play.
RE7, yeah, I didn't play RE7 too much. Like, it seemed like, especially because my friends were all playing in like VR, like,
oh yeah,
oof,
and just like being at a party, watching them like spaz out, and you know, as much as like horror and stuff like that. Like, see, it's kind of funny. I don't like horror video games a whole lot. I like horror movies and other stuff, but like horror video games, because it's a very active activity, right? It's a very engaged, versus like watching a horror movie. It's a passive like ride, you know. And I find a lot of art in like horror movies, and that's what I enjoy about like horror games too. But it is also like I do get scared playing horror games. It's very rare for me to like feel anxious or scared from a horror movie these days, but a horror game definitely can. So yeah, I haven't played any of the RE games in a few years now. I follow along like what the plots and everything that's going on, because I find that really engaging. But the actual gameplay I haven't kept up with in a while.
The movies are what are really good.
They're good in a different way. I enjoy them, but like, you know, they're aware of what they are. That's what I like about the movies.
The first Resident Evil movie I saw in theater, I remember I think it was the only one I've ever seen. I don't remember which one it was, but I remember they were fighting in a desert type area, and there was a bunch of
is that an Extinction
shipping crates, and I just remember the chick opened a shipping crate, and for the next 10 minutes zombies began to pour out of the shipping crate like so many more than could ever be in the shipping crate. They just kept pouring out. It would cut to the shipping crate, they're still running out, and then she's fighting, cut to the shipping crate, more pour out, fighting, cut to the shipping crate, more pour, and I'm like, dude, there's no possible way there was 800 could fit in there. But then the whole screen is covered in all these zombies that just came out from this one shipping crate, and I'm like, okay, I kind of get it now. Funny.
Yeah, that was Extinction. There's a lot of them now. There's so many of them.
I don't even know which one's which. I don't keep up. They're not that good.
They're
not good enough for me to keep track of. If they're good enough to watch for the roller coaster ride and be like, all right, that was fine.
Yeah, but here's what I like is, the roller coaster, but then this movie came out, Extinction came out in 2007. Runtime 1 hour 34 minutes. Just boom.
Yeah.
None of this 2.5 hour drawn out mumbo jumbo, but just
that's how horror movies are though. A lot of horror movies, they know they need to just get you while they can. So they get you for 90 minutes. And that's about average runtime for a horror movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Horror movies and comedies, those are the two genres where it's 90 minutes. That's perfect,
Yep.
So
I heard someone say the other day that there hasn't been a really, really good comedy in a long time that's come out in theaters. And I've been thinking about that a lot.
True.
That's very sad.
It's true.
I think people are afraid to make jokes.
It's not that. It's that.
I don't think it's.
It's not that. It's just the fact that because of streaming and because of lack of DVD sales, companies movie studios are only doing movies that are going to be a certified blockbuster for the most part now. So comedies were never that. So it's not a guaranteed make all of our money back right now because before you would possibly make it up in DVD sales. But now that that's gone, it's no, we need to make our money back at the theater because there's no money on streaming in the reality because it's a subscription based service. So that's why we don't see mid-budget movies. That's why we don't see comedies. We definitely don't see mid-budget comedies.
Yep.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Dr. Disrespect says he's open to streaming full-time on X. While streaming this week, Dr. Disrespect said if Elon Musk offered, he would help bring streaming to X platform. I think this would actually be a really good idea because I have streamed on X and it has so far to go. YouTube already has challenges in the streaming game, let alone X, who hasn't been doing it at all. And so his thing was, hey, I'll help bring it to what it could be and give it cool features and make it different. And I'm like, dude, honestly, you'd probably help him out a lot because Elon does not streaming on X is not a viable option right now, but that would be a pretty crazy move if he threw some engineers at Doc and they worked on it. That could be really game changing potentially if they could pull it off.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome for X.
They'd be lucky.
I think Doc is loaded enough too that he can afford to take the hit and just go over there and just build it as a streaming platform.
I was just gonna say,
from what I've seen, X is really tough to stream on, and it's crazy to me too that YouTube hasn't caught up to Twitch or even Kick or something. It's just so brutal streaming on YouTube.
Yeah, definitely.
Nobody watches.
It's really weird. How the heck was YouTube not able to just it seems like such an easy sidestep for them to have pulled off.
Yeah.
It's already. It's like, oh, we already are a hosting site, and we already have a video editor. Sure, go live.
Yeah. It's crazy because one of my biggest pet peeves, and I got to remind myself that, like, to be nice to people because people don't realize, and nobody knows about this stuff. But almost every time I stream, someone comes in, oh my gosh, you have 250,000 subscribers and there's only 4 people watching your stream? What's going on? And I'm just like, oh my God, please. Okay, first of all, that doesn't make me feel good. But second of all, it's like, dude, do you know what streaming on YouTube is like? Like, it doesn't, not every single person that I'm subscribed to gets a notification on their phone and says, hey, he's going live. That's not how it works. So,
Yeah.
And furthermore, if they're subscribed to me, like if they go on their homepage, my thing isn't going to be the first thing they see, even if they are subscribed. They got to go to their subscribe button and do all this. So it's like, it's not easy and it's not accessible and it's not the easiest place to watch live streamers.
Like if you go to your YouTube home right now and just go to youtube.com, you're logged into your account, you're at your home. Like, where do you go to see stream like channels that are live right now? I got home, shorts, subscriptions, YouTube Music. I've got all of like my stuff, my channel, all of that. Then you scroll down, there's subscriptions, you can explore, trending, and then there's like, oh, there's live down there. And
yeah,
then it shows...
and across the top, there's a live button too. If you see, it says all gaming music. Like whatever your searches might be. Or
well,
whatever.
This just shows me. This doesn't show me live stuff. It's just like recommended to me. Like I have like gaming, Halo Infinite.
Oh,
it doesn't show me. Like,
there's not one that says live because that's probably just based on what you search for. Because I have a live button there. But yeah, exactly. To your point. I mean, it doesn't. Yeah, only when you like go down to your subscriptions and you see like, oh, Gordon Ramsay is live right now. That's the only time you're gonna do it. So it could be so much better in so many ways, but I don't know. Anyways, Doc, I think that would be a smart move. If Elon is serious about turning X into a streaming platform, he does have to get someone over there who understands streaming. And I think actually he would be a good fit for Elon because they're both kind of crazy. So, and Doc's brand is like this futuristic, he's like the futuristic 80s, like sci-fi, whatever type of vibe. That's his whole thing. So, Elon can work with that. Ooh, Mint Blitz posted a video. Bungie is officially dead. Yikes!
It's the same stuff we just talked about. Yeah. Like honestly, like
yeah,
I think literally everything he said we've already said.
Yeah.
So I watched that earlier.
Anything else for the good of the pod? All right.
I think that's it.
GG's, thanks for watching. We will see you all next week. Happy November.
GG's.
GG's.
GG's.